Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Build a Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. It's part 123 today, and as promised, we're back for the first of two very big episodes at this football club and for Welsh football potentially. Firstly, we faced Dunfermline in a semi-final of the SPFL Trust Trophy, a side that have been yo-yoing between the champions of the Scottish Championship and relegated from the Scottish Premiership pretty much every year. Virtually the strongest side we could face in this competition. And in Shakhtar Donetsk, against all odds, we've made it through to the Europa League knockout rounds. And if we can get through to the last 16 again, we have a real chance of getting at least one other side into the group stages from this nation in the next year or two. So if you're looking forward to finding out how we get on, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from two long-term stories. Of course, we've had the end of the Welsh transfer window as well. We'll take a little look at that to see what's been going on in the nation. But the main focus is the two big games. And it won't be long before we're back again if the Shakhtar ties in a balance. So let's start with our transfer news. Not a huge amount going on there. And by that, I mean literally nothing. Ryan Bowers left in the month. That happened in the last episode. Big money for a poor youngster. Nobody coming in. We didn't feel the need to strengthen the squad. We're just trying to get them used to each other. If we can keep doing that, we've extended a couple of the loans, as you know. We are going to be in really good shape next year. In terms of the Welsh nation itself, though, it was actually a bit of a frustrating January. After a really good summer, it was a very quiet month. You can see the transfers actually on less than a page there. Early on in the month, a few good deals were done. Colwyn Bay strengthened with a couple of good signings. So did TNS early doors, just bolstering the squad. And Alex Reid, our former player, went to Barrytown United. Arwin Williams, another one of our former youngsters, to Barla. Colwyn Bay got in a loan player from Wrexham. But towards the end of the month, it all went a little bit quiet. Barla added a couple more, but other than that, there wasn't a huge amount happening. So for now, no real excitement in the Welsh transfer window. But if that means it's a big one next summer, when the coefficient hopefully improves again, then I'll cross my fingers and be happy. But before we get into the first of today's two games, let me very quickly show you the youth intake preview as well. A little bit like previous years, apart from the year where Bulkley came through, it is a mediocre group of players. Now, that can mean one of two things. Either you've got a whole squad of average players, or you've got a rubbish squad with one or two brilliant players in. So one of our defensive midfielders has the potential to go far, and we have what looks like a top prospect in centre midfield. We have one good young Welsh defensive midfielder from Bridgend who's caught the eye. Now those three statements there, the three positives in that youth intake preview, could all be related to the same player. And if they are, we could have one absolute gem in this youth intake. That's sort of what I'm hoping for, to be honest. I'd rather we have one brilliant player than a rubbish squad, than a few that are just going to serve the nation. So hopefully that will be the case here. We've already got 3 or 4 involved in the squad. We wouldn't mind another 1 or 2. The bad news that's come since the last episode is via the medical centre. I don't think you can see it here because I've had to relegate them to the under-19s. But Sam Martin has been set back by injury. He's now out for 3 to 4 months with a hip injury. He's a few weeks into that now. But it does mean for the under-19s in the squad, we're getting a little bit weaker overall. So let's go and get into the first of today's games. It won't have any effect in the cups where there are no squad rules. It's TNS v Barry, 3rd v 4th in the Welsh Premier League. Colwyn Bay still clinging on in 2nd. But if we have a look at the schedule since you were last with me, Colwyn Bay are becoming the side we're beating easily. In the last episode, we beat Barry with 2 5-goal displays. We followed it up with a 12-0 win against Monmouth. The side who, of course, got that massive stadium in our Welsh experiment a few weeks ago. I'll put the link to that in the eye above. But goals across the board there. Loza with 2, Rosario 3, Bulkley 2, Lacey and Martin with 2 each off the bench, and John Price with 1 as well. We beat Barry 2-0 away from home. Loza and Reyes getting those. Kaya Bulkley got a knock. Tom Jones has been injured too. The squad's really starting to struggle this year. They're playing extra games with international duty, being successful in other competitions, and there is a risk it could be starting to catch up. That didn't show against Colwyn Bay though, an 8-0 win on that occasion. It was Loza with 2, Walters, Reyes with 2, McDonald, Lloyd and Broom each getting a goal, as we looked in absolutely fantastic shapes in that one. I was really happy with the display, and of course that virtually wrapped up the title too. A 2-0 win away at Cardiff Met Uni, Loza with a brace in that one. And despite not turning up to training, going clubbing and acting unprofessionally off the pitch, he is still delivering the goods on it. And that's all that really matters. We completely rotated for that game in midweek, so we should now have our full strength team for this game and Thursday night. Then we can rest people against Llandudno in the league. Then the following Thursday we should be good again. So looking at the match loads, they're not too bad. Tom Jones still not back from injury. Neither really is Kane Walters. So I'll make a couple of changes with the bench. We'll get our 11 set in stone. We'll be back in a moment to run through it. So not much change needed in the 11. George Wickens will start in goal. Bektas and McDonald the fullbacks with Whittaker and Kelly at centre half. Lloyd, Reyes, Broom and Bulkley the midfield diamond with Loza and McKinnon up front. And hopefully, looking at midweek and the injuries there, Walters should be fit again. Tom Jones probably not. I just wanted to check very quickly actually if anyone's suspended for the Shakhtar game. I don't think they are. No. So we're all right. We can play this 11 and then next weekend in the league we're just going to rest everybody. We've got a strong bench. We've got a strong squad. The Dunfermline have been regulars at the top of the Scottish Championship tree and have not even been able to play in this competition half the years because they've been in the Scottish Prem. So let's see today if they produce their best, because if so it could be a really difficult match. And there we go, 9 changes from the last league game where we did rotate pretty heavily. Bulkley's coming back to fitness, he's getting himself involved. Loza of course covering for Kane Walters. But aside from that, Dunfermline have got a pretty good side. Their skipper is a good youngster in England. Archie Wood's in there. One of our legends. Archie Wood's played loads of games for us. I completely forgot he went to Scotland. Jack Ross is in charge and Archie Woods, a former pro, is in that side. That gives you an indication they're definitely as good as our backup team. And Archie Woods, it'll be lovely to see him. I just hope he's not on the winning side. Into the first half we go. It's a big one for Bangor City. And fingers crossed we can get to the final and win another competition. Well, this has been a dull 25 minutes. Dunfermline have set out to stifle us with 2 banks of 4 and Woods in between them. They've just left the one striker up and it's worked a treat. We've had no shots on target. They've not had any, but they're not going to care about that. And as we come up towards the half-time break, we haven't looked like scoring. That's job done as far as Dunfermline are concerned. I mean, it's great that these sides are having to come out and defend against us. But I'm really not pleased with that performance. We'll give it 10 minutes, maybe 15 tops. Then we'll go and make some changes. As Kelly's got a ball on the left-hand side. That highlight looks so quick. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. It's not any quicker than normal. I don't know what's causing that. It looks so quick. Maybe it's just the tempo of the game. As Stephen gets it on the right-hand side. Dunfermline into the box. Bektas wins the ball. But the referee's given a penalty. This is a big problem. Both fullbacks on a yellow card. Dunfermline have a spot kick. And this is a chance for Zach Brunt to give them the lead. Oh, he's put it miles wide. It is an awful, awful penalty from Dunfermline. And they've had the best chance to take the lead in this match. But they've completely bottled it. Let's go and make some changes because this display's been awful. We're going to take Bektas off for Yesden Weaver. We're going to take Bulkley off, I think, in the number 10. Although I don't really have a replacement. So no, actually I'm going to take Loza off for Rosario. He'll switch to advance forward with McKinnon as poacher. And then in midfield, aggressive is Chris Broom. So on comes Malone. In terms of star rating, he's actually rated better. I don't agree with it. But on paper, he is the best midfielder. So we're going to go for him. And it's another Dunfermline free kick. They're really coming into this game. On the right-hand side, it's Zach Brunt to take it. We go behind. I think we go out here. Brunt into the front post. Aziri shot blocked. And then Wickens lets the second one in. It's feeble goalkeeping. We're going to berate the lads. But I've not seen a performance like this for a long time. Even against Thun at home, we did okay. Here, we've just been outplayed. As Kelly gets the ball in midfield to Reyes. Can we make the comeback now? We've really berated the lads. We've dug into them. And we need a response. As Rosario loses the ball on the left. Somehow gets it back to Reyes. Finds Harvey Lloyd. Space to run into. McDonald on the right. It falls for Bulkley. Blocked to Rosario. And completely against the runner play in this second half. Rosario, through luck of the draw. The ball just bobbled to his feet. Manages to tap into the empty net. Fantastic stuff as Archie Wood gets it from the centre kick. We're back on level terms. Now we've got to avoid conceding again. As Hanlon plays over the top. McDonald heads away to Malone. The sub starting to make a difference already. Falls for Reyes in the centre circle. McDonald's over on the right hand side. Plays a 1-2. Chips up to McKinnon. Knocked down as far as Patrick Malone. Weaver's over at left back. Instead plays inside to Reyes. Harvey Lloyd switches right to McDonald. We're trying to use the width now. We're trying to get those wing backs so advanced. McDonald gets to the byline. There's three in the middle. Cuts back to Malone. Back to McDonald again. Got to release Reyes. And he passes it into the net. The beast has been awoken by conceding that goal. And Bangor City have turned the screw. 2-1 on the night. We're going to the final as it stands. And all it took was us to concede a goal. And we've turned into a completely different side. I'm going to drop to a balanced mentality. I'm going to encourage the lads to keep it up. And fingers crossed for the last 15, we can make this pretty plain sailing. Though Stevens down the right for Dunfermline again. Reyes wins it back to Kelly. Don't play a cross goal here. Take it short, take it simple. Malone brings it away. Long ball up towards Rosario. Comes past the centre circle, chips right to McKinnon. Hasn't looked any more effective in the poacher role, but is getting on the ball now to Malone. Back to Harvey Lloyd. Probably been one of our best players on the pitch. Back to Kelly. Much more composed in possession. Up to Rosario. Brilliant finish from the substitute. 2 goals for Louis Rosario. It's been a fabulous signing this year. And it's 3-1 on the night. We're through to the final. But my words, Dunfermline made this tough. What a good side they are. But I think we're going to prevail as Bulkley gets it left to Yesten Weaver. Another one of the subs who's made a difference. He gets to the byline again. Crosses to the edge to Malone. Another sub shoots. It blocks into the path of McKinnon, who can only find the keeper. 7 minutes to go. Dominance at the moment. I think we've just about done it, as Wickens takes a short free kick to Whittaker. Playing to Jerome Kelly. If we keep the ball, we can't lose this game. That's all I want to tell the lads. Keep it simple, keep it calm, keep it sensible. Rosario on the hat-trick, lays it to McKinnon. A 1-2-3, Ewan McKinnon scores. The Scottish wonder kid puts it in for 4. Rosario has made a massive difference. Malone has been fabulous off the bench. And Yesten Weaver has marauded up the line. Brilliant display from the 3 subs. And that's the difference to us this year and any other season. We've got that quality in the squad. There are very few years before this where we could bring on 3 subs on the bench and get better. And now we can do it. McKinnon gets in again. Rosario's in the middle. McKinnon goes alone. And the defender mixes up with the keeper. McKinnon into the empty net. Is 30th of the season. And remarkably, after falling behind at the hour mark, it's now 5-1 to Bangor City. Incredible turnaround. Incredible effort from the subs. And this is what having a strong squad does. We can win any game even when we're poor. I mean, Dunfermline still almost had the better expected goals. And to be fair, if they'd scored that penalty, it probably would have been a very different game. Brilliant comeback from the lads though. We're really happy with that. And what we need is a similarly ruthless display in front of goal against Shakhtar Donetsk on Thursday night. I'll see you in a moment at the racecourse. Shakhtar Donetsk time. We have had good success in the past against Ukrainian sides. Normally Dynamo Kiev in fairness. But I'm hopeful today rather than expectant. You can see, incidentally as well, Raith Rovers in the last 16 against Juventus. We have a look at Raith. They're 3rd in the Scottish Premiership. They were top a matter of 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure what's happened there. Oh, look at that. All 3 teams on 56 points. Their key player is Greg Pringle, who is just goals galore. 12 in 19 in the league, 4 in 7 in Europe. Oh, I miss him so much. I mean, we should at this point just be proud of the fact he played for our club. He's world class, or he's getting towards that stage. We have had some injury news as well, unfortunately. Gwyn Morgan going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. Tom Jones is still out injured too. So we're not quite at full strength here. However, I'm hopeful we can still get a result. The home leg is going to be absolutely crucial. If we have a look at this Shakhtar side, it's a 4-star reputation team. Their key player is Ethan Ampadu, who's now 32 years of age. Welshman we could do with ideally. However, they've got a mix of a few really good young players and a lot of quality experienced ones. So if we get them in terms of general info, you can see there are a lot of players over the age of 30. But there are some good young Ukrainians too. I mean, the centre forward, Panchenko, is a great example. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to go. Maybe we can overrun them. Maybe we've got the physical quality. But technique-wise, if we give them time on the edge of the box, if we give them set pieces to deliver from, Shakhtar are going to be a massive threat. So let's have a look at our lineup for today. I've got to bring in Rosario for Loza after the last match, haven't I? Those two are going to be together up front. I've got to bring Anderson onto the bench for Morgan, who got the injury. In terms of the rest of the squad, I think that's our strongest 11. Of course, Bulkley wouldn't normally play, but Tom Jones still injured. So our 11 for today, just a one change. Rosario, after his stunning display off the bench against Dunfermline, starts. And Kresimir Loza, the unhappy man, drops to the bench. Lots of goals between the three of them, though. Loza's there waiting in the wings if we need him. And let's see if we can get an unassailable lead home to Shakhtar Donetsk in the Europa League. Who thought we'd even be playing this game? Here we go then. Experience galore. Luka Jovic. We've seen Ethan Ampadu. The goalkeeper's experience. Carvalho, Suarez, Sau in the middle. Alvarado. It's a really good team. What we've got to bear in mind though is we have got the physical advantage here. We've got a lot of players in their peak or in the younger stages of their career. And if we get on a roll, if we get an early goal or two, we could overrun them. So at the racecourse we are, still playing out of Wrexham. Let's get into the first half against Shakhtar Donetsk and see if we can repeat our previous heroics. 6 minutes on the clock, no chances on target yet, but Rosario's got it from a throw on the left. Plays a 1-2 with Broom, who works it out to Bektas, into Kyo Bulkley. Oh, it's the 18-year-old, the Youth Academy star, and he opens the scoring against Shakhtar. What a start, and what a man to do it. He has signed a new 5-year deal, incidentally, Kyo Bulkley, here till 2037, 4.5 years as it will be now. Had a slight dip physically after injury, but still on his way to becoming a real superstar. And what a start to the game this is. Bangor City 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0. And fingers crossed we're on our way. Of course, with the away goals in Europe, the clean sheet is crucial. We've seen that many a time before. I mean, take Newcastle last season. 0-0 at home and then battered on the road. As McDonald gets to the right byline, in towards McKinnon. Just over his head. Ampadu volleys away. Bektas gets there on the left. Had a really good start to this game after a poor one against Dunfermline. Good to see players bouncing back like that. McKinnon finds McDonald. The wing-backs already flying down and overlapping. Reyes into Rosario. It deflects off the defender. It's the only reason it beat the goalkeeper. But it's 2-0 with 17 gone. This is looking exceptional. They can't cope with the physicality, the tempo, the flying wing-backs, the pacey centre-forwards. They can't handle it. But they've still got quality, and we can't give them possession here. Kutcho tries to run onto it. It's a great block from Kelly. Intercepts and keeps his composure. Bektas at left back into Broom. I'd love to run away with this now. We thought we were never going to get here. PSG rested their whole squad, which gave us a massive benefit in the Champions League. And then AC Milan held on against Thun as Rosario gets in again. We're in dreamland. We are in dreamland. 3-0 with 19 minutes gone. Bektas is tearing them to shreds after getting battered by the Dunfermline winger for an hour. This is the stuff dreams are made of. 3 shots on target, 3 goals. And I think it's another case of last 16, here we come. I don't want to speak too soon, but his performance is making me very confident. As we're back again in the 45th minute, it's calmed down a little bit since that third goal, but Broom's got it in midfield from Kelly, finds Bulkley, Bektas running down the left again, Rosario gets there first though, drags himself wide, crosses towards Reyes just over the bar. It was behind him a bit, he couldn't direct that header, and he certainly couldn't get the pace on it. Shakhtar, no shots, none on target, Bangor City dominant. 2.5 expected goals, over half the possession, and brilliant in front of goal. If we can keep this up for the rest of the game, I'll be very confident of the last 16. And regardless of what happens the rest of this tie, a home win is another quarter of a coefficient point for the nation. We've got to bear that in mind at this stage. As Shakhtar play out from the left-hand side again, Carvalho flicks on. Jerome Kelly, though, been like a Rolls Royce back there. Brought everything down and calmed it down. Bulkley goes through towards Rosario. It's blocked back to Ruben Reyes. Got McDonald trying to charge forward down the right again. Bulkley with a super back flick. Edge of the box, the defender squared him up. Just flicked it round the corner for Rosario. He puts it in for a hat-trick. He's been scintillating today. Luis Rosario to the rescue. Bulkley's goal not showing up next to his name there for some reason. But what a performance. 4-0 Bangor City. And what a decision it was to bring Rosario in. We've got to keep him next season. As Broom gets down the left-hand side. Tries to cross it field, but it's intercepted by Alvarado, the skipper. To Carvalho. To Panchenko. Good tackle from Whittaker this time. Barely mentioned his name today. Kelly comes down the left-hand side. Keeps possession. He's feeling confident now. Gives it to Bektas. Through to Rosario. Got 2 in the middle. Goes back to Bektas. To Reyes. Broom's with him. Reyes again. They're just trying to find a breakthrough. Bulkley's there. Back to Bektas. To the back post towards McDonald. Oviedo heads away. Balls for Ruben Reyes. Has got McDonald down the line. This is possibly the best performance I've ever seen from this team against this level of opposition as Broom puts Rosario in again. He's got a fourth. It is 5-0 to Bangor City. We are dismantling a very, very good European team, an experienced European team. We are making this look oh so easy. We were 2 minutes away from going out of the Champions League altogether and not having European football after Christmas. And now in the last 32 of the Europa League, we are winning 5-0 in the first leg. It's not even been a contest. Rosario goes back to Broom again. Bulkley in the centre circle. I mean, what a performance. We won't even need to show the second leg at this rate. Reyes intercepted, but it falls for Broom. Through to McKinnon. Yet to add his name to the score sheet. He still doesn't. But his shot is blocked into the path of Kyo Bulkley. And he adds his second of the night. Bangor City 6, Shakhtar 0. And we've not even reached the hour mark. It is incredible. McDonald with a throw on the right-hand side. We're on the verge of double figures here the way we're playing. McDonald back to Bektas. Chips to the back post. McDonald running in on a post. Through to McKinnon. I'm so proud. I am running out of words to explain this performance. It's 7-0. We can almost rest people now. Let's go and make some changes. There's nobody who deserves to come off, but I've got to bring people on. Kelly's on a yellow card, so let's get Pasiorek a run out. Harvey Lloyd's not got a yellow card, so let's protect him. John Price can come on there. Broom's our own, so he's the one really we should be resting. But he had the break at the weekend. So let's take Reyes off. Let's bring on Patrick Malone and enjoy the last 22 minutes. Because this has been the best performance of our career. No doubt about it whatsoever. As Pasiorek gets the ball at the back, the substitute. Not really changed our tempo. We're still playing out. We're still dominant. We're still camped in their half. Broom gives the ball away though. Rhodes chips it downfield. Pasiorek's the first man there again. Up to Broom and now Malone. Through ball to Rosario. He scored again. Ridiculous. 5 goals for Luis Rosario. I think he's out of contract at the end of the year. If he is, we try and sign him. If he's not, we get him back on loan again. Because it's stunning. The best backup striker you will ever see at this football club is Luis Rosario. As it's back to Felipe at right back. Long ball forward. Pasiorek heads away as far as Bulkley. He's got space to run into. He's on a hat-trick, don't forget. Into McKinnon. It's 9-0. What is happening at the racecourse grounds? Bangor City 9, Shakhtar Donetsk 0. I am speechless. It could be double figures. It's on the left into Rosario. Double hat-trick. 10-0 to Bangor City. We are winning 10-0 against Shakhtar Donetsk. You've seen some of their players. They are very good footballers. How on earth has that happened? 10-0. 2 for McKinnon. 2 for Bulkley. 6 for Luis Rosario. The second leg is going to be enjoyable. And we're not even going to have to show it. We're going to be back for the last 16. We're going to be there again. And from almost falling out of Europe altogether, from being so disappointed 2 episodes ago, this is utterly ridiculous. I mean, we've just come back here. Luis Rosario scored a double hat-trick and he didn't get man of the match. 2 goals and 3 assists for Kyo Bulkley. What a performance. He's 18 years of age and he's tearing apart top European teams. So we're going to get through the second leg. We're going to be back for the last 16. I just have to enjoy that. I mean, the second leg of the last 16 tie should be just before Dundee United reserves in the SPFL Trust Trophy final. But my word, we've got to enjoy this night because they don't come along often. What a performance. If you did enjoy it, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Someone try and explain to me down in the comments how on earth this is happening. After the sombre affairs we've had in last week's episodes, this is a real turn of events. If you want to see how the season finishes, whether we can break that last 16 hurdle this year, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. We're getting close to doubling the channel size since FM21 was released. I can't thank you enough for that. And my word, these boys are putting a display for us. What a performance, what a result. I could not be happier. It's 10-0, the second leg is a walkover. And I can now rest players for the Europa League. Absolutely incredible.